I am back from my first ever GoWild Pass trip with Frontier Airlines, and it was amazing. I'm gonna cover a ton of things in this video. Check the timestamps below if you wanna skip ahead, but I'm gonna cover what it's like using the Frontier GoWild Pass, how to fly like a VIP on Frontier, what to do with 2 full days in Santo Domingo, tips for staying safe as a female solo traveler in Dominican Republic, and what to do with a long layover in Orlando. I'm not gonna go over the itty bitty details about Frontier's GoWild Pass in this video because I've done it in 2 other videos, so go back and check those out and then come back to me here. But basically, I was looking around for somewhere tropical to go and I found I could go from Newark through another city to Santo Domingo for super cheap. We're talking 1 penny for the ticket each way, plus taxes and fees. And when you're going international, those taxes and fees really add up. So my flight to Santo Domingo was via Atlanta and I had like 30-minute connection time, which was fine. That one was $88 in total. And then coming back, I had a 17-hour layover in Orlando, and that ticket was like $117, something like that. So round trip, just under $200. Because it's international, there's like a 10-day window where you can book. So I was able to book separately, but at the same time, I booked there and back a few days ahead. So kind of last minute, but not like last day, last minute, like you have to do for domestic. So international is cool in that way. So you book your ticket, and how to fly like a VIP, I really recommend getting their credit card. Once you hit the minimum spend, you get gold status. This is where the benefits really start adding up. With gold status, when you book, you get a free seat selection, and then at check-in, you get a free upgrade if it's available. And for me, on all 4 flights, it was available. I got exit row, so much leg space, amazing. And you also get a free carry-on. And with the credit card, you also get 2 free checked bags, but I actually didn't use those. I just used my personal item, which I used a backpack, and I used a rolly carry-on. So I put the backpack on the carry-on, and it was like so easy to maneuver and get around, not have to carry anything. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna link those below. With Frontier, you have to be super careful that everything is within the measurements, or you could face a $100 last second fee at the gate. So definitely avoid that. Triple check all your measurements really carefully. With all the ultra low cost carriers do this, right? Frontier, Spirit, you name it. They're all super picky. On my 4 flights this time, nobody measured mine, but I measured them myself at the check-in. I just made sure everything fit in those little boxes and I was good to go. I wasn't prepared for this, but now I am, having experienced it. On Frontier flights, the seats do not recline, which at first I was horrified, but then I realized that also means nobody's gonna recline into your space. So it's actually kind of great. And none of their flights are super long. Most of them are like 2-3 hours. I don't know. I never sleep on planes anyway. Whatever. They also don't have Wi-Fi and they don't have in-seat entertainment. So my big pro tip is you need a power bank to make sure that your phone stays charged. And before you get on that plane, make sure you have everything downloaded. Movies, TV shows, podcasts, whatever you want to watch. I have a 20,000 milliampere power bank, which can charge your phone like 4 times. Highly recommended for something like flying with Frontier, because you're gonna be able to watch all the shows you want, and then you get to your destination, you're still good to go for the rest of the day. I love mine, and I'll link that below too. On to our destination part of this video. We're gonna talk about Santo Domingo, where I stayed, what I did, what I recommend, what I don't recommend, etc. I stayed at the Catalonia Santo Domingo, which is a 5-star huge hotel, which was gorgeous and I loved it, and it was cheap. I got a single room, ocean view, just gorgeous. It was like $100 a night, but it didn't include breakfast, which would have been like a 20-something extra a night for the buffet breakfast. And if you want to buy it there, it's like $25. Oh, so I was like, no. And there was nothing walkable from the hotel. It was on the Malecon, which is like their boardwalk kind of thing, but it's advised really not to go out on your own. And I'm a female solo traveler, so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna risk that. So I got there at like 5 p.m. I was so thirsty. You can't drink the water in Dominican Republic, and they didn't have any cheap bottles of water. They had like these glass bottles, which are like $7 a bottle, and like literally like that's all I could do. So I had to buy one, and I was just like, oh my god, I just paid like $7 for water. This is ridiculous. They have, I think, 2 on-site restaurants. Again, very pricey. I think my dinner was like 25 bucks, something like that. But I was exhausted and literally went to bed at 7:30 p.m. because the next day I had a super early morning because I booked a full day tour to Saona Island, which I 1000% recommend. There are a ton of different tours you can book. They're all very similar, but most of them offer hotel pickup or like a meeting point pickup. So in Santo Domingo was not a popular pickup because it's very far, like 2 or 3 hours on the bus to get to the main boat area. But they had a pickup in Zona Colonial, which is actually like the really cool historical city center kind of Santo Domingo, and it's probably the most touristy, safest place in the whole city. And if I were to do it again or next time, that's where I'll stay because everything is very local there. You can go out to get cheap dinners, cheap waters, the grocery store, you name it. And it's just really cute at night and during the day and everything. So that's the area where I would recommend staying, although the Catalonia was gorgeous. And if you don't mind taking Uber everywhere and stocking up on waters and snacks and stuff to save money, then that's a great one too. But anyway, so I had to get an Uber from the Catalonia to the Zona Colonial. It's like $5. Oh, Uber's not super expensive there, but it adds up. And it's really safe how the Uber works. There's a pin it gives you and you get in and you show them the pin, they enter it in, or you could tell them the pin. So I got down to the meeting point and we met at like 6 in the morning. Oh my God, so early. We took a bus ride, we stopped for snacks, and we got down to Bayahibe. We boarded a little boat that took us to a bigger boat because the bigger boat couldn't come all the way to shore. And then we took a boat ride and it was just gorgeous, gorgeous. And they played fun music, and at like 10:30 in the morning, they were like, do you want Sprite or Coca-Cola? And I was like, Coca-Cola. And then they gave it to me and it was a rum and Coke, and that was a big surprise, but that was fun. Our first stop was a sandbar where we all got out, and it was like maybe up to your waist, really gorgeous turquoise waters. You could swim around, take a ton of pictures. We were there for like 20 or 30 minutes. Then we got back on the boat and we went on to Saona Island. Again, we had to like transfer boats to be able to get to the shore. Oh my gosh, this island was like true paradise, just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The whole tour, like all the drinks you could drink, alcohol and non-alcoholic, were all included. And then at Saona Island, they had a buffet set up, which was really yummy, and they had more drinks and stuff, but they also had vendors, so you could pay for a massage on the beach, you could pay for one of those like coconut drinks. They were selling like jewelry and stuff. They had toilets, but they had these like pots that you had to fill up with water and dump in there to manually flush. It was funny, but they did have bathrooms, and I changed out of my swimsuit at the end. They had some hammocks. It was just gorgeous. I really loved my time there, just relaxing and swimming. Around 2 or 3 o'clock, we boarded the boat and headed back. We got back to Bayahibe, and then we had to take the bus back, and it was literally like after 8 o'clock when we got back to Santo Domingo. Like, it was a long 14-hour day. We were exhausted, but I went to dinner and then I went home. On day 2, I wanted to be my day of like exploring the Zona Colonial, learning some history and culture. So I booked a free walking tour. I'm gonna link some of these below. They have like full day tours, which cost like 75 bucks, and they take you to several things, and they sounded amazing, but I kind of wanted it to be more flexible. So I found a free walking tour by Civitatis. It's free, but then there's like a required $10 tip at the end, which I felt like was way worth it because our guide Leo was so amazing. It was supposed to be a 1-hour walking tour. It ended up being 3 hours. We were all like exhausted and dehydrated by the end of it, but it was so amazing. Like, the city is gorgeous, but I didn't realize that Dominican Republic was the 3rd place that Columbus landed at. So he landed at Bahamas and then Cuba and then Dominican Republic, and then Santo Domingo was where they first set up, like built the first European city in all of the Americas, like North America, Central and South America. Of all the Americas, Santo Domingo was first. So cool. So they had the first university, the first hospital, the first walking street, like just really cool history. Other stuff about the history, like I didn't realize that they had a Haiti trying to overtake them, And then they had a 20 or 30 years of dictatorship. They've just been through so much. And like their fort we went to, you could still see the bullet holes. Some of the churches you could see damage from when they were bombed and from earthquakes. I really knew nothing about Dominican Republic other than it's a popular all-inclusive resort kind of place to go. But I'm really glad I didn't do the all-inclusive resort way because I feel like I really got a taste of the island much better than you would in that case. With 2 full days there, like did so much. So I spent the whole morning on the second day doing the walking tour in the Zona Colonial downtown area. Then I went to lunch on my own in the little square. It was just gorgeous. There were musicians. It's just really lively down there. And then I took an Uber to the Los Tres Ojos, the caves with these gorgeous turquoise lakes in the caves. And there are 4 different caves with lakes you can go to. The Uber was like $3 or $4 to get over there, and there are tours and stuff. Again, you can pay extra, but I just paid myself. I think it was like equivalent to $4 to enter the caves, and then one of the caves inside, there was a little boat ride you could take, and that was $1 extra, which was actually cash only. The $4 entrance was card only, so make sure you have both. But yeah, that was so cool. And I really liked going on my own because I could just go at my own pace. And there are random people you can ask to take a picture, stuff like that. But if you want to learn more about the caves, do a tour. But if you want to just kind of like go on your own, I think that's a really easy and cheap way to do it. So cheap. From there, I took an Uber to the Faro o Colón. I messed up because it was like 4:55 when I got there and they close at 5. So I couldn't even go in, but it was still worth going because it's this huge lighthouse monument to Columbus, and it's really cool. It was giving Maze Runner vibes, like really, really weird and cool looking monument. But when I got there, it was like almost closed. There was like no one there and it felt a little bit nervous. So I very quickly walked around, took pictures, and got an Uber out of there because it was like in the middle of nowhere. And I just felt like if somebody drives by and sees me out there alone, I just felt like kind of a target. So I don't recommend going there after hours by yourself, but I definitely recommend going. It was cool. Yeah, then I was exhausted. I went back to my hotel, had dinner, went to bed, and the next day I flew out to Orlando where I had a 17-hour layover, which was kind of cool. So I landed at 1. I got a free shuttle to my hotel, and then I was like, what do I do? So I was on the Frontier GoWild Pass Facebook group, and I was like, what do I do, guys? What do I do in Orlando? And everybody was giving amazing recommendations, and many people recommended Disney Springs. So I was like, okay, that's it, I'm going. Disney Springs is kind of like a free taste of Disney if you want to just like be out and walk around and see cool stuff for free. It's really, really cool. There are tons of restaurants. There's Rainforest Restaurant, T-Rex Restaurant, like so many different kinds of restaurants and shopping. And then at sunset, that's when all the live entertainment starts. And they had, I think, 3 or 4 different bands playing all around the park. Really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. And then next time I'm down there for a long layover, I think I'll try Universal City Walk. And if I'm there for like a full day, then I will go to one of the theme parks. But I was only there for like the afternoon and evening, so I didn't feel like shelling over $100 for a Disney pass or something would be worth it. But maybe next time. We'll see. My video on TikTok asking for tips on traveling solo in Dominican Republic got like over 50,000 views and hundreds of comments. A lot of them being like, don't do it, it's not safe, or don't leave your resort. But I will say, do it. It's totally fine, but you gotta be safe. And by safe, a lot of these tips are good anywhere you go, even in America, New York City and stuff. You gotta watch your bags. Don't ever put anything down. Don't be flashy wearing tons of jewelry. I dressed really conservatively because I did not want any attention on me. I didn't have any jewelry. I didn't have any cleavage. I had a skirt past my knees. I was like, I'm gonna be an invisible person. I am just here to enjoy. I'm not here to talk to people or have any kind of interactions, although I did meet a lot of really fun people. One thing that was really interesting is I did not run into many Americans. I think only 3 people from New Jersey, of all places. And then everybody else I met was like from really all over the place. I met people from Argentina, from Spain, from Colombia, from Honduras, like from all over. Really cool that everybody's just coming to Dominican Republic from all these places. So that was neat to see. I feel like most Americans maybe just go to the all-inclusive resorts and don't really get out to these other places perhaps, which is kind of sad. I encourage you to feel comfortable. You could totally go. In the Zona Colonial, I feel like it's pretty safe. There were tourist police everywhere. And on the Saona Island Tour also, like each boat we were on had one or two of the tourist police with us, and then at the island as well. And then other than that, I would say maybe don't wander off on your own. Be very mindful of where you are, who's around. Take Uber, take guided tours, stuff like that. At the airport, I changed 40 bucks into Dominican pesos just so I'd have some cash. I didn't even use all of that, but I did use some of that. I used credit card most places. I booked the hotel and the tour through Expedia, and then I used Uber. And a big thing with Uber, I was warned about scams with Uber there, that you would get in and they would say, oh, please cancel your Uber and then pay me in cash. So don't fall for that scam, and just, I don't even know what you would do in that case, but nobody bothered to do it to me. Everybody was like really nice. No issues with not speaking Spanish. I didn't get scammed or attempted scam or any kind of weird feelings while I was there. Maybe I got lucky, or maybe everybody's like freaking out, just trying to warn you. And when you're aware of all these things, then I guess better safe than sorry. But I had a great time and I can't wait to go back. I want to go back this next time. I want to go back up to the north. Everybody's saying to go to Saona and Terenes. I don't even know how to say these places, but up north, and there's like jungle stuff you can do. I just loved it, and I can't wait to do my next GoWild Pass ticket. I don't know where next is gonna be, but trying to do one of these a month at least. So we'll see. Let me know if you have any questions about Frontier GoWild Pass, about Santo Domingo or Dominican Republic, or traveling solo, or all these things. I'm so excited to talk more about them on this platform. Thanks for watching. Bye.